Okay, so we're going to talk about inflammation. And this is another innate strategy for dealing with pathogens. All right, so inflammation. What exactly is inflammation? So inflammation it's a condition, and it's a condition marked by redness, swelling, heat, and pain. And it is initiated by cytokines. Okay, so what is a cytokine? What is a cytokine? So a cytokine is a chemical, and what it is, it's a substance that is secreted by certain cells of the immune system and has an effect on other cells. So it sounds kind of like a paracrine, doesn't it? And it kind of is. So what produces these things? What produces cytokines? So what produces cytokines, or what causes the production of cytokines? Well, one thing is tissue damage. So when you hurt yourself, sprain an ankle, cut your finger, whatever, all those things happen. You get redness there. It starts to swell. It gets hot. It's painful. Okay. Another thing are pathogens. When you get viruses, they come in through your nose or whatever, same thing happens. Things get red, starts to swell, area heats up, and you have pain. Okay. So why? What is the purpose of inflammation? Because inflammation kind of gets a bad rap. Because chronic inflammation isn't good. It's bad. But inflammation itself is a very important key aspect of the innate immune system because it creates a barrier so that it protects your healthy cells. It brings in white blood cells, which are the ones that do the cleaning up and get rid of pathogens. And it promotes healing. So it's pretty important, inflammation. So where do these conditions, these little, marked by, where do they come? Where does it come? Where does that come from? So Inflammation causes swelling and pain. Why? Well, if you think so, inflammation it increases the permeability of capillaries in the area. So in the tissues. And that will cause swelling and pain, because if you have your little capillary here, and if you've got an issue, some, problem or whatever, you're going to have, red blood cells in here, right? Terrible red blood cell drawing. Okay. You're also going to have, white blood cells. Okay. There's going to be proteins in here, albumin, and things like fibrin and things like that. Okay. So what it does is inflammation causes these cells to get a little looser. Remember, capillaries are one cell layer thick. And so the inflammation, these chemicals, these cytokines, cause these cells to kind of, I don't know, they come apart really, but they just lax. And they do that so that things like the white blood cells can make their way to the area and get out here. So if it's a monocyte, let's say they're monocytes, and then they go into the tissue and become a macrophage, and then they get to do their thing. They get to do their cleaning up, their phagocytosis, right? And as they go out, then you're going to have some proteins coming out here. Where the proteins are coming around the going towards if it was an injury for, blood clotting, whatever. So, and this is pretty leaky, and we've got, pressure here. So, things are coming out. So, these cells are coming out. Maybe a few little proteins are coming out, stuff like that, the bulk flow that's coming. So, of course, fluid is moving out too. And because it's pushing more stuff out than normal because of this leakiness of the capillary, so the proteins and stuff like that, that means that osmotic pressure, the osmosis, is down. It's not as strong, right? So osmosis goes down. So less fluid is now going back into the capillary. So the fluid is kind of staying out here, and that's what's causing the swelling there. The redness and heat so that comes from vasodilation. So the cytokines are stimulating vasodilation, and that's bringing in more blood. And along with it comes, more white blood cells and more proteins, whatever's needed for repair and healing and all of that. So more blood means redness, right? You're flushed, you're red, you've got more blood there. And that area will get hot. Okay, blood is hot, right? So the area gets sort of heated up. It's red, and of course it's swollen, and it is painful. And that doesn't sound like a good thing, but that does promote healing and repair. Okay, so the next part of this is fever. So we'll talk about that next.